Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and tonight we're on the red carpet for the HBO premiere of the much buzzed about Bessie. We'll be bringing you interviews with the star and executive producer Queen Latifah, as well as Oscar winner Monique, Bryan Greenberg, Tike Sumpter, and more. So get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and Queen Latifah. Congratulations. This project, you're talking about a rock star, Bessie Smith.
Yes.
Talk to me, because you're executive producer, you're star, putting this project together and getting HBO behind it.
It was very challenging, but I think from the moment this came to us from the Zanuck company, and I was attached to it, it was something a project we always loved and that we always wanted to stay connected to. And even though I was half my age when this thing came to me, it was something we never wanted to let go of. So from Flavor Unit side, we always stayed on it. And from the Zanucks, Dick and now Lily Zanuck stayed on it. And then we're finally able to connect with HBO, who loved the idea of the project. And so we've been working on this for years. So here it finally is.
This woman's story, incredible. She was ahead of her time on so many levels, portraying her. Talk to me as an actress what that was like.
It was very challenging in the sense that there was a whole lot, a whole lot to play. I mean, she lived a very full life in a really short amount of time. And so it was like trying to tell that story in with brevity was very difficult. But I mean, you're talking about a woman who can sing and tear the house down, a woman who was courageous, who was not afraid to fight for other people, fight against what was wrong, who was sometimes wrong herself in so many ways, but very vulnerable at the same time. So there was a lot of different directions that I had to go to really express who she was. But music, it would always come back to music, which is a great escape.
What a project, and what a rock star Bessie Smith was.
Yes.
Talk to me about being part of this incredible project, partnering with Queen Latifah, and telling the story of this rock star.
You know, being a part of it was absolutely an honor to bring those amazing people back to life, for us to get a chance to see the richness and the trueness of their stories, and to work with a living legend like Queen Latifah. What you gonna say to that? You know, it's like a kid in a candy store, like, here she come, here she come. She was absolutely breathtaking.
When you're telling the story, Bessie was ahead of her time. The partying, the sexuality, the singing, this woman brought it all. Talk to me about who was Bessie Smith and telling that story.
You know, I don't think Bessie Smith was ahead of her time. I think she was right on time.
I love that
Because
answer.
if not, she would be in another time. You know, it's so important because even today, you still have people fighting with their sexuality. You still have wage equality that's happening and not happening. You still have the same things that happened then that's happening now. And you marry it together and say, at what point do we change the story and not just the faces? So that's why it's so important for these films and these movies continue to be made and the stories to be told, so that hopefully we can get change in today.
Bryan Greenberg, I was just telling you, I loved you on another show, How to Make It in America, but this project about Bessie Smith, incredible. What an inspirational and fascinating woman.
Yeah.
Talking to me about being part of this great story.
Yeah, I'm just honored to be a part of it. Yeah, Bessie was a rock star before there were rock stars. She lived a hard life. She drank hard. She fought hard. She had a wife, a girlfriend, I mean, a husband, a boyfriend, a mistress, all at the same time. She was, and she lived a really tough life. And my character, John Hammond, was a big fan of hers. Her music, he loved her, and she loved him, and he gave her a real credible shot into the mainstream world, and he really believed in her. And you know, he helped kind of open her up to a wider and whiter audience. You know,
you play her lover on this movie. Talk to me about putting this project together and working with the cast you get to work with.
I mean, I'm absolutely grateful that I get to work, 1, with Queen Latifah, 2, with HBO, 3, with Dee Rees, and 4, with the cast. I was just sitting there watching in awe most of the time, and I'm just, you know, it just made me want to be a better actor. It just made me think about projects differently. HBO is just a class act, so, and it's a great story. And Bessie Smith is an inspiration to anyone. So I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
Well, anytime you get to work for HBO, you know it's going to be great. You know, it's synonymous with quality, the projects that they do, and the way they've gotten behind Bessie to make it become the project that it has is incredible, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. When I first read the script, you know, I just thought, wow, this is incredible. And I knew Dee Rees, I knew, you know, that she'd done Pariah. I hadn't met her, but I'd worked with Queen Latifah before. Once I read the script and I said, wow, Queen Latifah is going to play this role, and I have an opportunity to play her brother, you know, man, it's one of those things that to be in it is great. To be able to play that role is incredible.
Talk to me about telling her story and in getting Queen Latifah not only a star but the executive producer. Great stuff.
Yeah, and so Queen Latifah has been shepherding this project for the last 20-some years, and so she brought me on, and I was just honored to work with her. And I think, you know, this is a chance to talk about, you know, it's relevant now because blues is such an avenue for political protest, for like social commentary, and Bessie was doing it at a time when there wasn't a name for it. You know, Bessie Smith, I see her as this radical feminist, you know, before there's labels, and she just kind of lived how she wanted to live, loved who she wanted to love, but she always maintained this connection to the people and was always concerned with the welfare of the masses, and her work, you know, continues to echo through contemporary work. And if you've heard Nina Simone, you've heard Bessie. If you've heard Billie Holiday, you've heard Bessie. If you've heard, you know, any contemporary artist, basically, like, you've heard Bessie. Her voice echoes on.
Your grandmother was ahead of her time.
Yes.
Talk to me about your memories of your grandmother. What made her Bessie Smith?
Well, she died before I was born, about 3 years before I was born, and all my information came from my father. And she was a big family person. Her music, her son, who she worshiped, and her family, those were very important. Those were the three most important things to her.
When you look at her legacy, talk to me about, as a granddaughter, being able to see a legacy from a family member that is so rich and so incredible.
It's just so good to see it out there. It's something I've been trying to get this done for 42 years.
Unbelievable.
It's been that long.